So yeah, before we start this video, I just want to say, Naruto. In this video, Naruto is Naruto X a harem, and I swear, if anybody says to ship Naruto and Sakura in this, uh, just don't say it. All right, I'm not doing that. And if anybody else says like something like Naruto X Hinata, not doing that. Naruto X Ino, not doing that. Naruto X Tenten, not doing that. Naruto X anybody from the Leaf really, not doing that. The only girl I would ever ship with Naruto that's from the Leaf is Hanabi, and that's not even every video, anything like that. So yeah, I'm not even sure I'll be putting her in this harem, to be honest, but maybe. I'm not sure about that yet, to be honest. But yeah, anyways, I'm never doing a Sakura ship or Hinata ship, to be honest. So don't even ask about that. I'm not doing that. And if you haven't seen any of my previous videos on my other channel, I like doing dark Naruto what ifs, and I never will do. I won't do a Naruto video when Naruto stays in the Leaf Village. So don't expect that to change. But yeah, anyways, obviously Naruto won't be in the village in this one either. And yeah, anyways, for following you, enjoy the video. Guys, it's your boy a.D back with another video. Now today's video gonna be doing with Naruto had a twin sister and was neglected, part 1. So yeah, before we start, I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, this will be my first video, like genuine video on this channel, which I have uploaded things before. It just wasn't really videos. It's just like an intro. One that was like asking you guys a question, but whatnot. But yeah, anyways, these weren't really like considered as videos. These were just like polls, in my opinion, to be honest. So yeah. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And before we start, quick little warning. This video in particular will have incest in it. It's basically Naruto X's sister. It's Naruto X a harem, but his sister will be a main girl and part of the harem, obviously. So yeah, be warned. If you are uncomfortable or just don't want to watch that stuff, then feel free to just watch another video or something. But yeah, anyways, the people who are okay with watching that stuff, then enjoy the video. And yeah, hopefully there's not a lot of background noises and all the other stuff. And yeah, and his sister's name will be Mito, and that's basically always gonna be Naruto's sister name, because I asked a poll about that on my other channel, and you guys said to always just name her Mito, whether she's good or not. But yeah, anyways, I won't be spoiling the harem. You guys will have to see for yourself later on in the video, but it will be pretty obvious once a new girl is revealed to be in the harem. But yeah, anyways, for following you, actually before we start, this is a Naruto X Black Panther crossover. Naruto won't really. I don't think I'm not giving Naruto the Black Panther suit or anything. I will give him maybe some of his abilities, but not really. All it's really gonna have is just like in the land of demons. There will be the meteorite with the vibranium in it, and yeah. I'm not really gonna be giving Naruto the suit, but he will obviously get like the technology for like creating a bunch of shit. But yeah, anyways, not spoiling the video. Let me actually get this thing. So. If you rain in your garden, you know that you can. Before we start, I just want to say one last thing. Since I started a new YouTube, which is a.dTHEweeb Legend, as you can see, I will still be calling myself a.dTHEweeb because that's just kind of my name at this point. And what's it called? I'm basically canceling the light goals. I'm not gonna be putting any light goals for pretty much any of my videos. I'll mostly just be doing them whenever I feel like it. And but that doesn't mean the likes won't matter. It will still matter. Like if a video gets like 100 to 1,000 likes, I'm gonna be doing it like really really fast, even if I don't feel like doing it. Which I'll probably feel like doing it because I haven't really done any real what if that I don't feel like doing at all, like a side question for example. This is not gonna happen. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, let's get started. So yeah. Chapter 1. The creepy the creepy the creepy twins are born. Miyato's hate. In the world of the shinobi known as the Elemental Nation, there are many villages, many ninjas and many rogue ninjas and also samurais, but of all these ninjas and villages alike, very few stood out. Konohagakure, a red-headed woman, was giving birth. She was giving birth to three children, two boys and one girl. She named the two oldest, which were Naoto and the girl. The two the She named the older boy Naoto and the middle child, girl, which is Mito, after she named Mito after her ancestor, which was the previous holder of the Nine Tails / Mito Uzumaki. The last boy was named by his father, Minato. He named the last boy Menma Namikaze. Time skip. Kushina had gotten the Nine Tails out of her forcefully by the masked man, and she was left on the ground completely drained, kind of out of it. While now Minato was about to use the seal for the repeat death seal, but instead Hiruzen stepped in and did the seal, and he sealed away half the QB demon inside of Menma, and the other half inside of basically what's it called? Minato. Wait, hold up. So yeah, anyways, Naruto and Mito were different from Menma. It sounded impossible, but it happened. When the two child were born, they were literally holding hands, and when they were forcefully separated, they cried. It was like they were one, but they did not want to be separated. It made people around him think it was cute at first, for the first few weeks, but soon after, people started to hate them and call them creepy. As the child always held hands, they were next to each other and will basically move in perfect synchronization just naturally without ever practicing or anything like that. Time skip. 8 years later. A boy with dirty blonde, spiky golden hair, his small thing going down, basically over his eyes, kind of like you see on Naruto in the picture, like his thing going down and shit. So yeah, sorry about that. His arms and leg and figure. The boy was in very much pain. He was in so much pain. He was in too much pain. The boy was in physical pain from previous experiment that had been done to him by the crazy snake Sanin. But the boy did not pay any attention to that, as he was used to the physical pain at this point, as he had been in more physical pain for the last 8 years, but he was suffering mentally. He had been in mental pain. Had he been in mental pain before? Yes. He had been mentally tortured many, many times before, but this time the boy had finally broken, but not the way that the Sanin had wanted him to. But instead, the boy was in rage, so much rage, more rage than anyone else had ever been in existence. The boy got up with his body revealed to be very unhealthy, and his skin and legs were shaking. Like his skin and leg was shaking. As he had not stood up yesterday, he had been crying all day. The boy's eyes were red from crying. You could see all the veins going through them. But then all the white in his eyes was absorbed by the blood red color, and there were many black rings appeared with 9 black tomoes in them. Not calling the black purple in the middle. It's basically the Rin Sharingan. I'm not sure if I took a better picture. Yeah, I didn't take a better picture sadly, but It's basically this. So yeah, pretty sure you guys should know what the Wind Sharingan looks like. If you want a better view, just look up Kaguya or something, and you should see your third eye. But yeah, anyways, the with 9 black tomoes in them, not counting the people in the middle of the eye. The boy's eyes started to pulse violently, and you could see rage strong enough to destroy the whole world. I'll kill you. I'll kill you, the boy started to say. As these words were spoken, a strong, invisible force shot out of the boy's body and started to push everything away, and squashing most of the stuff that were hollow or not strong enough to sustain the pressure, including all the weird looking weapons all around him. Meanwhile, Wise Country, Hidden Sound headquarters. Orochimaru was smiling to himself as he was looking at the now dead body of Mito Uzumaki, as he remembered how he had killed her a day ago. He turned away and started to watch a clip of the last few days. We show his two favorite test subjects. Flashback. Mito was using her body as a blanket to warm up the shaking Naruto. The room was freezing, but she knew Naruto was in a worse situation as Orochimaru had given Naruto a serum that not long ago after Naruto became very sick and looked like the life was basically leaving him. So she had to do something to help him. And keeping him warm was the only thing that she could do. That is what she did. The door of the room opened and Orochimaru walked in with Kabuto to see two siblings suffering, trying their best to survive. Orochimaru walked up to Mito and sighed. You were a very interesting test subject, and were very compatible with that weird metal from the land of demons. But I have learned everything that I need to learn from you. So now I should do what anyone else would do in my situation and throw away the useless story and keep the knowledge for myself. Orochimaru sent a snake and it bit into Mito's neck, sending a great amount of poison in her body. But she did not die like he had hoped, but she started to waver, and the snake had enough poison to kill 5 elephants put together. But her, alongside her brother, were used to poison, but so she had not died instantly. But she was still affected by this one, as it was specially made for her. Kabuto took out a sword and tried to stab Mito, but Naruto somehow got up and pushed him away. He somehow got up and basically pushed him away from Mito, who was on her knees from the poison, basically weakening her. Seeing this, Orochimaru summoned a big, like a kind of medium-sized snake compared to Menda, big enough to wrap around Naruto's whole body and held him down. Kabuto tried to cut off Mito's head, but when the sword was about to hit Mito's neck, a vibranium bone came from her neck and it hit the sword, breaking it, and stabbed Kabuto in the hand. But she was so out of it that she had not seen the flying Orochimaru coming after her with the Kusanagi held in his hand, and he launched it forward, piercing out Mito's eye, and it came out the back of her head, basically. As she screamed in pain for a second, but then stopped, as she did not want it to basically make her brother worry. She knew she was going to die, but at least she could try to protect her brother. She slowly raised to her knees and hand and did a slash at Orochimaru's chest, as she had made her hand into a vibranium spike. But the Sannin easily dodged and kneed her in the throat, basically seeing her throat being back away from him. She coughed and started to speak. Naruto, don't be sad. I will make sure you survive this. It will be fine. I know it might hurt at first, but it will be okay. Now I will always love you, even in death, Mito said, as the vibranium bones started to come out of her, and they charged into many blades and started to basically destroy everything and attack everyone except for Naruto. After 2 minutes later of the endless barrage of vibranium weapon bones thingy, basically. Orochimaru had to shed his skin as he had taken a lot of damage. He looked back to see the dead Kabuto as one of the weapons basically pierced Kabuto to the head. And stupid girl, he said as he did some hentai, and many snakes came out of his shirt. All of them had kusanagis in the leg instead of having tongues, and started to basically attack Mito, which she tried to protect herself, but she was really weak at this weekend because of the poison in it, which was like taking a real big toll on her. So yeah, and the snakes basically started to advance on her and cut her to ribbons. But instead of screaming, all she did was basically smile and say everything will be fine. I love you, bro. And with that, the body slowly collapsed with blood leaking everywhere. The snakes were basically the snake that was holding Naruto left as Orochimaru disappeared and the door was once again closed. Naruto crawled to his dying sister's body as she was barely alive, but she was dying fast. Now Mito smiled at him and wiped away the tear coming from her brother's eyes. Mito pulled Naruto down to a level and gave him one last loving kiss, and she died with a smile on her face. Naruto just stayed unresponding, with a river flowing down his eyes. And yeah, as you can see, Mito is already with him, so I'm pretty sure it's obvious, more than obvious at this point, that it's a Mito X Naruto ship. So again, if you don't want to see that, just leave at this point. Well, yeah, anyways, you understand what I'm trying to say. In a flashback, back to the present, boom, there was an explosion. Naruto was currently floating in the air in the middle of a giant crater, and the debris of the giant house that was around him. Naruto had red eyes and black turmoil basically in it. The eyes pulsed with power, and everything around him started to levitate and explode, bent and crash into each other. With each step he took, Naruto looked like he was a demon crawling out of the deepest pits of hell. Naruto suddenly started to levitate as he made it out of the giant crater that he had made. Naruto used his new powers for eyes and found what he was looking for. A black portal suddenly appeared in front of him as he floated into the portal. Sand Village headquarters. Orochimaru had just finished doing the final test that he had needed to do on Mito's dead body, where he had put some lightning in her body to see if the vibranium in her body would react with it. It didn't do much, it just absorbed the lightning, signifying that the strange metal was still there and functioning like normal. Orochimaru sighed as he closed the tube full of liquid where the naked body of Mito floated in the great water-like substance. It's basically like the testing tube that you be seeing in his lab and shit. Now Orochimaru chuckled to himself as he went to another room. Orochimaru sat down and started to write down what he had learned from doing the experiment on Mito into a folder which he had wrote down her whole life story from as early as he got her and Naruto into the test thing that he's at, like a lab, whatever. So yeah, where he wrote her whole life story and also wrote how Naruto reacted after seeing the dead body of his sister in Naruto's basically folder. Orochimaru finished writing what he was writing and closed the folders and left them on the metallic table. He was about to leave when he felt a sudden earthquake. Orochimaru sighed, thinking that it was his bodyguards, the Sound 4, who were training again. Quick warning again. There will be like 18 plus scenes in this series. Probably not in this video, but in the series in general. Yes, there will be some. And yeah. Anyways, Orochimaru started to remember something. He remembered about the time where his favorite test subjects were about 5 years old. He had brought in 4 newcomers who soon became his bodyguard. However, contrary to what many believed, Orochimaru never had the members' true loyalty. He had just tortured them to break them into being loyal to him, which worked for the 3 boys, not counting the guy with the butter in his body or whatever. But Taruya always just laughed like an insane psychopath, which was not wrong, as she was very much insane, but she... Sorry about the little cut there. I had to go help someone or something. But yeah, anyways, the Sunfall basically just tortured, and Orochimaru like basically tortured them to break them into being loyal to him, which worked for the 3 boys, not counting the boy that was inside the other boy's body. But Taruya always just laughed like an insane psychopath, which was not wrong, as she was very much insane, but she had a strong enough will to stop basically not work for Orochimaru, and she was still able to think, but she was extremely bloodthirsty and very violent, and she was quite sex addict and a bisexual, though no one knew where those two was from, and no one except for one girl actually, Ken. She had been a very kind girl, but very insecure. But she had ended up becoming friends with Taruya after she was saved by Taruya. But not long ago, after they started to have basically like Taruya kind of gave Ken more self-confidence and whatnot, and became kind of like her best friend at first anyways, until they started to basically have wild lesbian sex in it. But they were both bisexual and agreed to one day find a man that was like they were basically they basically agreed to basically one day find a man to add into the mix. But until then, they basically ate each other out furiously. Orochimaru made his way to the training ground to find the Sunfall while not training at all. Instead, Jurobo, Kidomaru, Saikon, Ukon, and Taruya were all just sitting down, or in Ukon's case, sleeping while still in Saikon's body. Orochimaru started feeling like something was wrong, but before he could do anything, a black portal appeared in front of him, shocking him when a hand held onto his head. Orochimaru's legs started to feel numb along with his arm, but he did a handstand before his arm became useless and sent a bolt of lightning into a portal. But much to his surprise, the hand nor the portal did not move or seem to be affected whatsoever, and he saw his soul started to be pulled out from him. But he opened his mouth and basically puked himself out, shedding his skin and barely getting away. But he still lost like a lot of his soul, more than any regular person should. A figure stepped out of the portal, and the portal soon closed behind him to reveal to be Naruto Uzumaki, or as Orochimaru like to call him, test subject number 1. Orochimaru was about to speak, but he was stopped as Naruto raised his hand, not wanting to hear any bullshit from the snake pedophile, and a black rod basically came from his palm and shot at it just came from his palm and stayed in there. Shibaku Tensei, Naruto said, in an emotionless, cold voice. As these words were heard by Orochimaru, he was pulled towards Naruto with a great force, which, even though Orochimaru had tried to stop himself by using snakes to hold on to stuff like the ground or anything like that, it was all in vain. As Orochimaru screamed in horror, Naruto took this opportunity and plunged the chakra rod in his mouth, and it came from the back of his head, and Naruto stabbed it into the ground. However, being the freak that he was, Orochimaru survived somehow and tried to get away, but he couldn't, as his chakra was a mess from the chakra rod messing with it. Naruto made 2 other rods and stabbed Orochimaru's kneecaps in his elbow joints, and finally one in his chest. Nin Ghetto Animal Path. Naruto pulled his hand over the dying man's head, who was suffering, as he slowly pulled out Orochimaru's soul, gaining all the memories of the man, and Naruto smirked. Minato, you bastard. I'll make you regret all of the things you have ever done in your miserable life. Naruto looked at the four who had gotten into a funny style. He glanced at all of them but stopped at Tayuya and smirked, and he vanished. Naruto appeared right in front of Tayuya, making her try to jump back, but she fell on the ground as she tried to get away, basically. You come with me, Naruto said as he started to walk away. Not long after he left with Tayuya, the three others' heads were basically twisted backwards with a chakra rod in each one's forehead. Naruto ordered Tayuya to basically free the other people who would be willing to follow him, which she did, as she was getting kind of wet, as she had seen how strong he had been and liked it a lot, and was basically turned on by greatly. Time skip. 5 hours later, Naruto was floating over Rice Country. Naruto looked to the other side of the border, right outside of the country, to see a very large amount of people who had been Orochimaru's experiments for a while. They still had the sanity to a degree. Those who were too far gone were left alone, but those who were too far gone or did not want to follow Naruto were left alone. But out of the group, some stood out greatly. Naruto looked sad as he saw his dead sister's body. My bad. He saw his dead sister's body had been taken, and her body was out of the tank and wrapped in a wood cocoon inside, basically the same type of cocoon that was used in the S3 Tsukuyomi. But yeah, inside the cocoon was still a naked Mito and 3 files, 2 of which explained the twins' life. In the last one was basically the names and what he did to everybody. Like basically, you know how there was that one girl in like that one movie that became like a half fish thing? Yeah, like he basically had records on what he did to people and who they were. That Orochimaru had been experimenting on them, including the dead ones, or broken or just failed experiment, who are following Naruto, and the ones who are following Naruto as well. My people, from today on, we will no longer be test subject for the snake, but instead, I will make sure you live a better life, a life in a high place, a better life, a better place, and we start this life right here, right now. Tendo Path, Shinra Tensei, Naruto said as he pushed both his arms open, and an invisible force hit the land and they destroyed the whole Rice Country, killing everyone that lived there and destroying the Sound Village along with any other small villages that were in the Rice Country. Unknown realm. 2 hate-filled red eyes opened to see she was in an unknown place. The ground was filled with water. She looked around and focused, and her arms changed into a vibranium blade. I must be still alive somehow. You are not. You have been dead for a long time now, but I have called you here as you have too much hate for me to let you go to heaven. It's an unknown voice. It sounded like a wise yet foolish old man. How dare you? But how dare you? Do you intend to separate me from my Oni-chan? I will erase both you and your brother's existence from this realm. If it's the last thing I do, I will make sure that the human race survive. No, I will see my Oni-chan. I will make sure of it. And how would you do that? I will start by killing you, whoever you are. You don't know me. No. Well, I go by many names. Sorry about that. Well, I go by many names. Some call me the Savior, some call me the Wise One, some call me Kami, most call me the Sage of Six Path, but my real name is Hagoromo Utsuki. It doesn't matter. Even if you are Kami himself, I will not let you stop me from seeing my Oni-chan. Even if I have to fight you, I will make it back to him. End of chapter 1. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this series so far. And basically, before I end this part, I will explain how Mito looks like. She basically looks like this. She's wearing the same thing, whatever that thing is. The jacket she's wearing over isn't like orange. It doesn't have any orange in it. It's just black basically. Yeah, and no Hokage ha obviously, and her eyes is red. Basically Koma's eyes with the slit in it, and yeah, that's basically what Mito looks like. But yeah, in Naruto, he basically let me look for it real quick. Don't know about these pictures. Naruto basically looks like, I can't find it, bro. Hold up, sorry about this. I can't find the picture for some reason. I know I had it somewhere. Alright, he basically looks like this. So yeah, Naruto basically looks like this, but instead of having, the black eye, it's the only Sharingan, which is red, in the black tomoes, and the headband, he doesn't have one. I might give him one in the future, but not right now. So yeah, and yeah, he also has the cloak on, but we're not talking. It's right now. It's just like, actually he doesn't have it yet, but that's what he's gonna look like anyways. And the cloak won't really have the Akatsuki picture. I might just keep it, but yeah, it will just be for style if he has it. Which he won't have it. Yeah, he won't have the Akatsuki thing as on, but he will have a cloak just like that. He will look just like this, both the only Sharingan and 99% sure no headband on. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, if you. Oh yeah, and before I leave, actually, I did not create Naruto. For anybody who think that I did, which probably no one did, but yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I'm just saying it to be sure. And nor did I create freaking Black Panther. So yeah. Anyways, if you wanna know who did it, just like look it up or something. I don't remember who, to be honest with you. But yeah, anyways, the only one I know is Kishimoto, but yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Anyways, let me know if you guys thought of this series so far, and again, no like goals, or just be releasing this series and any other series I start whenever I feel like. But I will probably releasing this next part pretty soon, since I already started in the next part anyways. But yeah, anyways, let me know if you guys thought of this, and for following you, I'm gonna be out for now. Peace.